When installing a new roof, you want something that protects your home for years to come and looks great. With the GAF Energy Solar System, you'll not only get a roof that's secure and stylish, it's also financially smart, as solar can save you money on your energy bills and the solar can pay for itself and your roof over time. There is no better time to go solar than when you're installing a new roof. It's one project, one crew, with less disruption and hassle within your home. The GAF Energy Solar Solution is what we call direct to deck, meaning it won't compromise your roof's waterproofing protection. And it can come with the best warranty in the business from a company that has been around for over a century. Our solar roofs are well designed by roofing experts for roofers. They look great because it's integrated into the roof. GAF Energy Solar Systems allow you to turn your roof into a financial asset. It generates energy for your home so you can run on sunshine. That means you won't need to buy as much power from your electric utility, lowering your monthly bill. With a policy called net metering, you can also feed electricity back into the grid when your solar is producing more electricity than your home is using. You'll get a credit for that electricity, lowering your power bill even further. And with tax incentives available, your overall solar system costs can be considerably lower, meaning even more savings for you. With all of these savings, the system can actually pay for itself and even your new roof over time. There are over 2 million solar homes in the U.S. now, and more people are switching to clean, renewable energy every year. Your roofer can create a customized solar proposal for you by assessing your roof and looking at your power bill. The proposal will have pricing specific to your new roof and solar project. Again, there is no better time to go solar than when you're installing a new roof. So consider choosing a GAF Energy Solar System that is roof integrated, saves you time and money, and contributes to a vision of energy from every roof.
Backer. TC Backer, TC Backer.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Chris Baker.
And I'm Ty Backer.
Welcome to episode 82 of Behind the Tool Belt with TC Backer Construction. It is Wednesday, the week after our very first solar install.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about that today. If we have time, we're going to dip into a little bit of stuff for Evolve Stone.
Mm-hmm.
We also want to do a couple shout outs for some people in the company.
Yep.
So make sure you guys tune in for this whole episode. It's going to be interesting. I guess to start off, man, we can kind of go right into the solar thing. So that went off without a hitch.
Mm-hmm.
Was a great day.
Yeah, I felt like it was.
Lots of people from GAF were there.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
We had the GAF Energy electrician lead, I guess you would call him, Owen.
Mm-hmm.
The gentleman who does the inspections was out there.
Yep.
The guy that actually creates some of the solar instructional videos, Fan, was out there to help us and kind of coach us on site on the roof on how to do these installs. And we had Karen there.
Yep.
And the other gentleman that came at later in the day, I'm not sure
His name was
exactly.
Michael.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what his.
He's playing a new role. I'm not sure what it is either, but
Right.
it's definitely going to help the team out a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, basically, what I was getting at, the gist there. It's just great, man.
Yeah.
It was great to have.
It was good.
Have all those people out there. It
For
shows
sure.
you the amount of support that we get from
Yes.
from them as a company.
Yes.
and it just went great, man.
It
I
did.
can't say enough good things about the team and all that stuff and,
Yeah, no,
everything that went on.
I
out there,
thought
man.
the entire day was a great day. I felt like I was very impressed with their team, the GAF team that came out to support us. I felt like they were very impressed with us, with the manpower, the equipment, our work ethic, the workmanship, the timeliness that it took to do the job.
Yeah.
Really didn't take that long at all.
It really
Just
wasn't.
several hours, not
Yeah.
days, not weeks. It was just it was a couple hours.
Yeah.
I feel like we can really nail that down and fine tune it and
Absolutely.
get it. So, if we did our first one in just a few hours, man, I mean, I really feel like, we could really
Yeah.
be able to do several of them a week.
Absolutely, because
If-
you got to think, man. Up on the roof, there was quite a few times where production just kind of stopped, and everyone was standing there with their hands on their hips, just watching
Yeah.
the fan explain something and
Right.
go over a process.
Exactly.
And explain why this has to be done this way. What
Right.
happens if you don't do it this way?
Exactly.
There was a point in time that I remember. He pointed out, he said, look, guys, everyone pay attention to this part.
Right.
If you don't do this right here,
Yeah.
there's going to be a point later that you're going to realize that you didn't do this and everything's going to have to come off.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
make sure everyone pays attention right,
Right.
here. So like
Yeah.
stuff like that, we're talking easily an hour,
Right.
hour and a half, 2 hours, not to mention there was elements that were being dealt with that day. It was extremely hot out that day.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
guys,
that was the hottest day of the week.
absolutely.
Yeah, for
guys
sure.
were getting a little bit tired there towards the end, so they probably
For
weren't
sure.
moving as fast as they
Well, the
were at beginning.
adrenaline started to wear off. I
Right.
think when we all realized that, oh my God, I think we're going to get this
Yeah,
done today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I really expected to be there till dark, and then be there probably a couple hours in the morning. I really I don't want to say that was my expectation, but that's just kind of what I was thinking was
Yeah.
going to happen. But
Yeah.
dude, what was it like?
5:30?
4?
5:30,
Yeah,
everyone's
around
out.
4 o'clock. It seemed like we were cleaning up.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There
Yeah,
was
that
some fine
light
tuning. Yeah.
touches to do,
Right.
clean up, maneuvering the logistics of getting all
Right.
the equipters out of there and all
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Vic, why don't you pull some pictures up?
But yeah, man, super impressed with the team.
There's only 10 people watching.
Yeah. Can you guys still hear us? Oh, we back up.
Tell me back up. Look at my hair.
Relying on you guys to let us know if we're good here.
no video. Mike Brown said.
No video. That's not good.
Well,
Yeah.
we had,
Maybe when the picture came up. How about now?
yeah, I think I
You're
was
killing me.
Are we good?
Frozen.
Thumbs up?
There you go.
Everything good?
Good now? All right. Well, we tried to post a video up there basically stating, you know, what Fan was explaining to Chris and Derek.
Yeah.
So continue. Sorry.
So basically, you have to wire manage these wires. After every panel is installed, there's certain things you have to take pictures of to be able to give to the inspector. Because obviously, with this being a roof integrated system, you can't check underneath it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the management with the wires, no wires are allowed to be touching the deck.
Right.
That is for safety precautions, so
Right.
you don't get any faults, nothing catches on fire.
Exactly.
The system gets hot.
Right.
I mean, you're drawing energy
Let's
out of the
backpedal
sun.
here a little bit. So, not there. You can have access to it. If anything, God forbid, would happen to any of the panels or anything like that, they can be replaced.
Yeah,
Simply
yeah.
by removing the counter flashing, removing the step flashing, you would have access to
Right,
underneath the panels.
right. You would have to remove something.
Yes.
So if we send an inspector up there after the install,
Right.
basically these pictures are going to make it so that he doesn't have to remove anything
Right.
to really
Right.
inspect. Because if you're just assuming that the wiring's done properly, you're
Yes.
assuming that the wire management's done properly, that's how you can get fired. That's how
Exactly.
you can have systems that don't work, that don't generate the energy that they should be generating.
Yeah, right, right. And then the cool part about this is the way that it is wired up. That it's like a string, like you were saying before, of Christmas lights.
Right.
You know, old school Christmas lights. If one bulb went out, the whole string went out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that isn't designed this way.
Right.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so they have wires that connect all the panels together, which in a row, and it's almost like a snake pattern, like an S. Okay, so basically what that means is under normal circumstances, if they weren't wired up the way that they were wired, if your panel in the middle would fault, the middle of the second row there, everything prior to that or after that would not work. It would be
Right.
generating power.
Yep.
But the way that these things are interconnected, just because you lose one in the string, it'll just bypass that panel.
Yes.
It will still allow electric
like
to flow
daisy
through.
chained.
Yes, yes. So you have to take pictures of everything grounded out together because that's important. You have to take pictures of the wire management. And basically the way that Fan explained it to me is the more pictures the better.
Right.
You know, anytime that you put your hands on something and do something, take a picture of it.
Absolutely.
They want to see the fasteners that you use because
Right.
if you go down to OSB,
Yeah.
you have to use 6 fasteners in each leg.
Absolutely.
If you're going to plywood, you only have to use 3. So
Nice.
inspectors want to see those kinds of things. So you
Yep.
have to take a lot of pictures. A lot
Yep.
of pictures were taken that day.
Pictures
What you
of-
guys saw.
Let
was-
us know how this goes here. We try to post another picture up there and let us
Yeah.
know if we freeze or something goes wrong. But-
Yeah, so basically what you guys were seeing there was just one of those instances that I was explaining, you know, why this job even took as long as it did, you know, because we had coaching moments like that where,
Right.
where Fan was like, okay, this is how we do this. And I could tell that he was the type of learner, and we got this off our heads, you know, real quickly in the beginning.
Yeah.
He's the type of learner that I am, that Derek is. You know, you can show me or tell me
Yeah.
100 times, but I'm not really going to feel confident in it until I actually do.
Yeah,
So
right.
how he did everything was, you know, he did the first one,
Yep.
and then he would
Let's-
let us go. So
Yeah.
the first two rows of panels, the very first row of panels, he did a lot of the stuff on it. The second row of panels, which is 4 panels across in each row, the second row of panels, he was kind of there guiding us on, you know, what to do.
Yeah.
And then the third row, he just stepped back and let us completely take
Nice.
everything from start to finish.
Nice.
So by the end of this install, man, I'm super confident.
Yeah.
I'm blown away that it was as
Less complicated as you thought it was.
way less complicated, and there was way less issues than what I thought there was going to be, man.
Yeah.
We definitely lucked out with this roof. It was relatively flat.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes you got
Right.
your 24-inch studs,
Yep.
sometimes you get some waviness.
Yes.
Well, these panels have to sit flush.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there is going to be times where they're not going to go down as easy as
Right.
they did. We
The-
didn't have to
you
make
have
any
to
adjustments.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we didn't have
Exactly.
any adjustments. They had enough flex in them that
Yeah.
they were able to connect together.
Right.
And the other thing that I learned out here that I didn't actually know when we seen a lot of their demonstration videos, the panel, the reason that I like the panel so much is because they look so sleek and it looks like just one solid unit. Well, they actually sit up.
I saw that too.
And I was asking Fan, I was like, why do they do that? And he said, they're shingles, bro. You know what I mean? So like, it makes perfect sense.
Yes.
You know, one has a channel that locks together on top of the next one below it.
Yes.
And it actually overlaps it a little bit. So so it can't, water can't get up underneath there. It's just like a shingle.
Yes.
And it makes perfect sense, man. You can
Perfect
tell that a
sense.
roofing company designed it.
Exactly, that's what I was just getting ready to say. By the country's largest shingle manufacturer,
Right.
why wouldn't you design it
Right.
like
And
a watertight
simply
shingle would
he was
be?
like, it's a shingle, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
why would it sit flush?
No less, no more.
Yeah.
It's a shingle.
Yeah. So
yeah. It was a great experience. I mean, and the homeowners. Let's talk about the homeowners. Diane Brooks brought that up earlier. She was home all day long. She was giving her husband, he was at work, a play-by-play. I mean, she was out there snapping pictures. She was on the phone with him. She was text messaging him. And then finally, he shows up. Okay, I think he took a half day of work or whatever.
Yeah.
So he shows up, and the entire time that I watched them, because I was either, you know, from the distance or I was on the roof, every time I looked over at them, they had a smile on their face.
Right.
The entire time. Like
Yeah,
they and we, I think we felt, we helped them feel like they were the cat's meow. The talk of the town, the talk of the neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I mean? We had this incredible team there. We had GAF that flew in from all over the frickin' place.
Right.
Who introduced themselves to the homeowner.
Right.
Okay, we were there. You know, it was it was a great experience for them. It was a great experience for us, and it was also a learning experience. Okay, I'm going to get off track here a little bit, but I had spoke with Lauren. You know, anytime that we do a job, and I said to her, I was like, those homeowners were really happy, weren't they? And she was like, yeah. I said, well, we need to make every homeowner feel that way, that same exact way. And she was like, you're right. So that was a learning experience for us as a team.
And it's possible to do.
Yes.
It's just the thing that you have to figure out is not every homeowner reacts the same way.
Right.
And the ticket to get a homeowner to that level isn't the same for every homeowner.
No, it's
you
not.
know what I mean? You can't just go in and say the same words, same scripted out thing.
No, and it's not that every homeowner, I would say 98% of the time that we perform something on somebody's home, they're happy.
Right.
You know, thrilled with the quality of work, but there was something more that there was some.
They were gushing.
Yes.
They were
Yes.
like extraordinarily happy. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, I'm gonna pick up my phone and tell all my friends how great this was.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
How great of an experience it was that they had with us, how easy it was to work with us, how great it was to actually have GAF there. Not that we can have GAF on every single roof that we install, but they will be hanging around for a little while. So those of you that get, you know, hooked up with some solar, the few first couple that we do, they will be, you know, kind of making sure we know what we're doing, and plus I kind of want them there with us a little bit, because we never know what the next roof's going to look like.
Right.
There may be 4 different arrays on this house, the next home, that it might be so cut up. You might have a hip roof, and you know, may require some extra attention, some more training on how to, you know, is it 4 separate Q boxes? Does it all run to a junction box, and then, or do you have 4 cables running down the side over to the net meter? You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what we're going to get ourselves into.
The real cool thing about that with GAF, though, that I didn't even realize, so I know that they send you an instructional booklet, right?
Right.
That gives you basically a rundown of what you learn in the courses on a nice, sleek flip manual that you can keep in your pocket.
Yep.
But with every install, they actually also send a packet that's almost like, I'm going to say, for lack of better terms, the blueprints for the job, right? So it's going to show exactly where your Q boxes are going to go on the roof. It shows how many different arrays you're going to run. You know, anything over, I think it's 12 panels or 16 panels, you got to do a separate Q box.
Right.
And then there's a certain number of panels that you have to put per array. And like, all that stuff is explained in this packet.
Yep.
So it definitely makes me feel better, because I feel like to retain all that information in every possible scenario of, okay, there's a rule, if this happens, then you have to do this. If this happens, but you know, maybe you can't do this, so you have to do this. To remember all those rules,
Yes.
you know, and try to keep that in your brain,
Right.
is stressful.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
For
But
sure.
as soon as he pulled these things out and taught me how to read these things, it was like, you can't mess this up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like once you get the training and you're comfortable with doing it, it's the rule applies to all of them.
Yep.
And they do such a good job of making sure you're educated,
Absolutely.
and that you know what you're doing and comfortable with it. You know what I mean? So it's great, man. It's absolutely
It
great.
is. And the one thing that I like about this too, most solar companies, you know, and I'm sure everyone saw this, they're on a rack system, okay? That's just, they've been doing that for the past 20 years. That style of solar system has not changed. But the one thing that really irritated me, and we can circle back to the rack system and the pros and cons of that, okay, if there is any pros. But what I never liked about it was that there was a simple roof boot in the way, a pipe or a box, where they would leave that one panel out.
Yep.
That is so frustrating and so like cosmetically displeasing to the eye.
Right.
For me.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Right away, our team had discovered that there was going to be a pipe in the road. Okay, easy fix. Crawl in the attic, you know,
Wrap the pipe.
patch that hole, pull the pipe down, reroute the pipe, put the pipe up, bada bing, bada boom, it's done. Okay? That's one of the features about this that I love. Okay? We're not doing that. We're going to go in. This is, you're having, when you hire us, or GAF Energy or GAF, okay? We're not a solar company, not just a solar company. We're a roofing company that installs solar.
Right.
These solar companies that are out there running around selling solar, that's what they are.
Yeah.
They're solar companies. They don't care that they're putting somewhere between 68 to 100 holes in your roof. That's the equivalent of a 6-inch hole.
Right.
And I read that today.
Right.
Okay. On a traditional rack system, they're putting anywhere from 68 to 100 holes in your roof, straight through your roof, in hopes that they hit a truss. Now, the last attic that you were in, okay, that had solar with the rack system on it, how many screws did you see in the underdeck?
A ton.
Like half, maybe? More.
Probably more than that.
Okay, so maybe that roof had...
Because Ty, the way, okay, so I'm about to blow their whole design up right now, and I apologize to anyone out there that sells it solar. The feet on the rack systems are wider than the truss. So like, if you don't angle your screws in, or stagger it so you just hit truss on one side,
Yeah.
you can't hit all trusses with all of them.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have to rely on everything being perfectly symmetrical.
Yes.
With, you know, no waviness to the trusses at all.
Yeah, right?
No waviness to your system at
There's
all.
no way you're going to hit every truss.
No,
And you're
it's not possible.
sure as hell not going to want to run a screw sideways.
Right.
If anything, you're crossing your fingers, even if you run it straight and flush,
Right.
that it's not going to leak at some point in time.
Yeah.
Okay? And did you hear what I said? So from 68 to 100 holes blasted straight through your shingles with no sealant. And if there is sealant, that's a maintenance issue, which I don't know how you're going to maintain that. Okay, so let's talk about not being able to get under your panels to maintain your roof.
Right.
Okay? So now you got what is the equivalent of a 6-inch hole cut in your roof between the 68 to 100 holes comes to the equivalent of a 6-inch hole being blasted in your roof, just randomly put in your roof. Okay? With this system, it's direct to depth.
Yeah.
It's installed just like a skylight
0 screws.
with 2 layers
Zero
of
screws.
underlayment underneath it. One is your sticky membrane, okay, typical, a little higher, a lot.
That stuff you can probably use as waxing strips.
Absolutely.
To be honest with you.
Then on top of it, you're putting an even higher grade ice and water that's actually a fire retardant. Okay, so you're putting that down, which, so if anybody is listening, okay, so we came across the situation. I'm going to get off track here once again. Okay, it's some nights it's like,
I'm following you, bro.
damn it,
You're right on. Hopefully
okay,
everyone out
damn
there's
it, it's
following.
only an hour long. Okay, so we came into a situation where the homeowner wanted 2 separate prices. Okay, just a new roof with solar. Okay, so the price that we gave him was broken out, obviously, in 2 separate quotes. One with the roof and the solar, one with the roof. So we have it broken out, roof, solar, and roof. So his question was, how come my roof costs the same if the solar panels are taking up a certain area of the roof? Great question.
Right.
Great question. Unfortunately, the cost of that underlayment costs more than the shingles themselves.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
because you got to figure, man. We did a 26 by what, 12, 14
yeah,
foot,
yeah, right.
17
At least
foot, something
14.
like that.
Yeah, because you figure with the flashings.
Right. So you're talking 2 to 3 square.
Yes.
Right there.
Right.
That's and shingles. That's not just for materials.
Right. And
It's
you
not
did say 3-inch
that
diameter.
much. Right.
Wider.
Yeah, and then
Right.
the 3 water for the 1 layer.
Right.
The fire stuff underneath
Right.
is
Flash.
probably ridiculously expensive.
Yes.
I mean, anything fireproof is
Yes.
expensive.
Absolutely.
You know, so you're talking where we would normally just do 2 layers of shingles with 1 layer of synthetic felt under there.
Yes.
Or I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
1 layer of shingles with 1 layer of synthetic felt under there.
Yes.
We are now doing like 3 layers of
Yes.
underlayment.
Right. Right.
Extended out even farther around that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And,
Yep.
and not to mention your roll starter at the bottom.
Yep.
Your roll starter at the
And
top.
it's a special starter.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So to be able to get your actual
Exactly.
shingles to adhere
Right.
to that.
So to answer that question, that's why something like that would happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's a great
roof,
point,
yeah,
man.
your roof cost is going to cost the same. And you figure between the labor that it takes to flash this thing incorrectly,
Mm-hmm.
okay, unfortunately it's the same cost,
Yeah.
with or without it
Right.
being there.
And to be honest with you, you're probably even making out a little bit on the with solar because, like you said, the materials that we're putting down there
Yeah,
technically do cost more per square
absolutely.
than to install, especially labor.
Right.
Because you're having to go over the same spot.
Right.
You are physically having to walk and put your hands on the same spot.
Yeah.
4 different times.
Absolutely.
Versus 2.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's double the labor.
Yep, for sure.
You know.
Well, then you're step flashing all that in.
Yeah, and you're adding stuff to step flash
Yes.
and you know, apron flash, head wall flash, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely, you're probably actually making out.
Yes, for sure. If we
Good
really
deal.
broke it down.
Right.
But okay, so traditional solar panels with the rack system versus the direct to deck. Okay, I feel, and I'm not just saying this because we install it and we sell it and we do all that. I really truly feel it's the way to go.
Right.
Okay. And another factoid is that in the past year, GAF Energy has installed 2,000 of these systems, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it is more than Tesla has done with their solar tiles, just like the rack system,
Right.
which I found very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so having said that, 2,000, I'm thinking to myself, man, when we get this up and going, like, we're actually going to be able to be a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying we can do 500 of these a year, or I don't know.
But even but okay, so let's just put this in perspective. We do a lot of roofs in a year. Okay?
Yes.
So let's just say we can even do 200 in a year.
Right?
We've now done 10% of what they've ever done.
Exactly.
You know, just us that we put our hands
I
on.
really
So,
feel like that's a goal that we could definitely meet at some point in time.
Right. Yes.
For sure. I thought that was pretty cool that they've installed 2,000 of these this year, okay? And which is more than Tesla's rack system. Which I thought, and Tesla's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
That is
but
pretty
that's how quickly this thing's catching on. And this is, you know, it's a good system. It's a great system. It's
Yeah.
an investment that pays for itself along with the tax credits. Okay, and I don't know. I can't remember what the state tax credit is. I was actually studying the Delaware stuff today. I talked to Karen about that. We have a meeting with someone, a home builder, that may end up putting this on their homes Friday.
Oh, really?
And Jim and I down in Delaware.
That
So
would be really
I was filling my head with as much knowledge as I could to answer whatever question he may have. So hopefully I can retain most of that. So that's why I'm struggling with trying to remember what the state and local tax credits might be, if there is any. But having said that, either way, the federal tax credit plus plus, okay, that you receive plus. So let's just say, for instance, okay, if your system only covered 25% of your energy cost, okay, you're going to have your roof and your system paid for before the warranty is up on your roof, which is, it comes with an Automagic 25-year warranty.
Yeah, it's Gold Pledge.
Yeah, it's Gold Pledge. Okay, so before your warranty, expires, you're going to have it's going to cover the cost of that. So in turn, it's an investment. Okay, and that's really on the low end.
Right.
And I'm saying if it only covers 25% of your energy costs. Now, you can put as much as you want on your house. Okay. Yeah. The standard system comes what is it? 4.32 watts. Okay. So that's an array of 12 panels. That's your standard. They don't make them any bigger. They don't make them any smaller than that. So he could have easily put another, and that may have been configured in a different shape, okay? As long as he had those 12 panels over on the garage roof, or he could have very well possibly put them on the front of his home, even though I know that it wasn't pointing south. But as long as it's daylight out, it's still going to produce energy.
Right. It may not produce the maximum that the panel can produce, but you can still do that if you're hooking that to another system that is producing on that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, why couldn't you?
Right.
If that's the route that you chose to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can play it any way you want to play it. If you want to be totally off the grid, and if your roof is big enough, you could be potentially off the grid.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And even if you're not, like you said, man, the advantage of saving that money, that's money that, over the life of the roof, over the life of the warranty, I mean, you're going to end up paying for the whole system itself.
Right.
And then you talk about some of the financing options that are available with that.
Absolutely.
I mean, when it comes down to it, you're probably going to end up making more money than out of it.
Yes.
Than what you invest
I feel
in
like
it.
most systems are going to do that. And Mike did say there are state and local. I just couldn't remember what they were. I should have wrote it down. I should have actually had notes. But yes, it does depend on which state.
Right.
Each state varies from the state and local tax credit, but I do know Delaware will give you up to $6,000 towards your system.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sweet.
$6,000.
That's a couple free panels right there, man.
So we need to let Jeremiah know that. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's, I know which two electric companies are there, but we'll get to the Med-Ed and some other local energy companies around here, and we'll get a little more educated on that. But there's so much that we're trying to take in right now. Christ, we had to first learn how to install this, which was already mind-bending enough, which turned out to really not be that mind-bending.
Yeah, it really wasn't. But I tell you what, Derek's on here right now. I'm pretty sure he was feeling the same way that I was at the end of that day. Number one, it was hot. Everyone was out there. Everyone busted their butt. The subcontractors that we had there, they're technically subcontractors, but they're TC Backer guys.
Right.
It's just technically that by the way they get paid. You know what I mean? But I mean, we're talking 10 to 15 year veterans that have been installing roofs for us.
Right.
Everyone was busting their butts. But when we finally got done, to be able to walk away from that job where we physically ourselves installed solar on a roof, that's cool, man.
It was.
That was a really good feeling.
It was.
To hear, like you said, to see the homeowners, the way, their facial expressions, the way they were talking, everyone having a good time.
Absolutely.
Hearing the nice things that GAF was saying about our people,
Yes.
about our men that were out there representing us.
For sure.
Yep. That's what we do it for.
It was.
Man.
We had a great time too. I mean, it almost felt like it was a block party. Well, I don't know how many coolers we had there of water and Gatorade and things of that nature. Pizza, we had pizza there. You know what I mean? It felt. You
couldn't
good.
really drive down the road. There were so many vehicles there.
No, you couldn't. If you didn't know we were in the neighborhood, something was wrong. You weren't home. You were on vacation.
Right.
That was the only reason why you didn't know we were in the neighborhood. For sure, it was. What's that?
I got the picture of the GAF job.
Cool. So there's.
Yeah,
go ahead.
That's Owen. He actually is the lead electric guy. He's the genius behind all the protons
Yes, he is.
and neutrons that generate the power in your systems. The guy on the right is Fan. He is a old commercial roofing guy. Got with GAF not that long ago, and he now does. He's got a sweet gig, man.
Yeah.
He works 2 weeks at home doing instructional videos and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then he works 2 weeks out on the road where he flies to different places. He lives down in Florida, roofing capital of
Yeah.
the world between that and Texas,
Oh
really.
my
I mean,
gosh.
that's roofing
Absolutely.
capital of the world.
Absolutely.
So he actually, kind of get off topic here, he actually told me a story. The biggest system that he ever installed was like 30,000 panels on this commercial building. And then they had a carport, he called it. People in Florida call carports something that carports aren't to us up here. Like
Yeah.
when I say carport, I envisioned like a little pole barn next to a rancher that
Right.
Grandpa parks his car in. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
He installed 10,000 panels on this carport. So like, I don't know what kind of carport you'd be installing stuff on, Fan, but that's a big carport.
Yeah.
But
For
like,
sure.
that's how much experience he has on these things. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like, one of the big things that I took away from this, man, is these panels are a lot more durable than I thought they were.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're talking, these things are glass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're glass. You don't want to scratch them because that's gonna, take away from the energy.
Right.
So remember when we were handling these things, Vic? Everyone, they're like, oh, we need to wear gloves. We need to put, plastic between them and gently set
Yeah.
them down and all
Yeah.
that. Man, these things are so durable.
Yeah,
like
for
to
sure.
watch him just manhandle these things.
Right.
A GAF guy.
Yes.
He's like, dude, like they're
They're not
going
going
to
to
break.
See,
They're
and
not
that's a
gonna
good
break.
point. That's a great point because they also added protection to your home.
Yeah, I mean they're hail resistant.
Right.
They're hail resistant.
Right.
He actually said that he had to replace a panel in the middle of a grid. Down in Jacksonville, where people were shooting their gun up in the air to celebrate,
Yep.
and it actually got a bullet that came down into the panel. The panel still worked. It just wasn't generating 100% of its power, so
Right.
they had to go walk across this system,
Yeah.
literally walk on these things,
Yeah.
and change them. So like before Fan told me that story, I would never in a million years imagine that these panels could hold
The weight.
150, even 110 pounds
Yeah, right.
of pressure on them from someone
sure.
stepping on them. But if you have some of these big systems, I mean, sometimes you do have to
Right.
put weight on these things, but they're so durable, hail resistant.
Right.
Your normal hailstorm is not going to damage these things.
No.
Not going to get dinged
No,
up.
not the hail that I think that we would get around here.
Right.
And, I don't want to speak for some of the southern states like that, but I'm sure they got a grip on that.
Right.
Maybe the panels are a little bit different than, I don't know. But there is a special coating on it. It is a special glass, not just normal glass.
Right.
It's definitely a high resistant to breakage type of glass. And they weren't as heavy as I thought they were going to be.
Nah, man. They weren't.
Like one person could potentially, I mean, you could definitely carry it yourself. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want to do it to try to get it on the roof,
Right.
carry it across the roof. Just
but
because
easily two men. Easily.
Absolutely.
Easily two men.
Absolutely. No, I thought it was definitely a great experience. I loved the team from GAF. They were prompt. They were prepared. They answered all of our questions, and I feel like they were impressed with how prepared we were as well. I heard
Yeah.
that I don't know how many times. So I'm super proud of our team. I mean, I couldn't be any prouder. I mean, Derek was in it, Shannon was in it, Glenn was in it, Howie was in it, Denny was in it. You know what I mean? Houdini and the boys, they were in it. Lauren, we pulled together as a team, and we pulled this off. And,
Killed it, man.
And 2 weeks prior to that, I was pretty stressed. One, we couldn't get in the learning portal. Okay, so that kind of had me stressed out a little bit because I wanted to refresh a little bit myself, but it is what it is. Finally, we were, I think, 3 days prior to the install, we were able to have access to the learning portal. And honestly, I don't even know if anybody even got in there. I just think we had enough paper copies.
Yeah.
And what training we had prior to that, I really think most of it stuck with everybody
Yeah.
because we are roofers. that aren't just roofers, but we're also solar installers. And like you said, the way that this system is designed, it's designed to lock together like a shingle and shed water like a shingle. You step flash it like a skylight.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's some wires that you got to run.
Yeah.
So if you have basic construction knowledge, okay, I feel like anyone can do it as long as you're not afraid of heights.
Right.
You know, and can handle the heat and because it was hot.
It was very
I mean,
hot up there.
it was a smoker that day.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty ridiculous.
It definitely, to put it lightly, it definitely made me appreciate all the hard work that our team does
Absolutely.
in those days.
Yes.
Because I mean, I remember, I'm not that far out from the field, but I remember what it's like to be hot and everything, but you don't really remember how that feels.
Right.
You know, to come the end of the day,
Right.
you're tired,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And these guys do this every day.
Yeah.
You know, so
Absolutely.
they're just beasts, man. We got the best in the business.
Absolutely.
For real.
Yeah, man.
Honestly, I think
Derek said it was
I think
115
Derek was up there
Yeah.
the whole time. He actually probably technically put an extra hour up on that roof more than I did between
Yeah.
getting down.
I don't
and
even know
taking
if he
phone
got
calls.
down.
And he got down, I think, for a couple minutes to eat a piece of pizza.
yeah.
But that literally only happened because we had to wait for our installers that were installing the shingles to do a couple things up there. So otherwise, I'm pretty sure that man would have went the whole way through.
Absolutely.
And probably had another 2 hours in
Right?
at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Right.
I
Pizza.
slept very good that night. So
Yeah. I know I did too. And not just, it was a great day. What else? I mean, there was other things that happened great that day too. I think Bruno posted those pictures of us being runners up for several different categories, more
Yeah,
than
man.
I forgot. I forgot.
Four
I
whole
forgot how many
categories plus Horizon.
which I should have brought. And one night we'll probably talk about that a little bit too. But yeah, it was a great experience, and it was a great neighborhood to be in too. Okay,
Yeah, man.
so one of the other learning experiences that there was a lot of learning experience. We had our salespeople there. Tom and Kevin Dingus were there too. Okay, so it was a great learning experience for those guys to actually get some kind of hands-on experience for that too, and then to be able to like look around the neighborhood and be like, okay, what year home it was, how long ago the shingles were installed. So we're installing siding, soffit fascia, gutters, shutters on this home too. So to be able to like be out there and kind of canvas that area, I'm very excited about what's to come, in the near future, especially for that community and several other communities that we're working in right now too as well. So it was a great day, man. I mean, the whole team, and I can't say it enough, the whole team from GAF, dude, I thought it was going to be like this stick in the mud. I just thought it was going to be by the book, but they were just so friendly, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
for real.
that had really helped a lot for them being just so knowledgeable but yeah. So yeah, Vic's got up here a picture of what is going to be our postcard that we're actually going to be sending the neighbors out there. Okay, we use a company called Lead Scout. So anyone that's interested, go on www.leadscout.com. Okay, you like how I threw that in there?
Yeah, man.
This picture here was this is actually one we're not going to use, but if you look at that picture, there's actually that white thing on the panel.
Yeah,
that's a piece of
plastic.
cellophane there.
Yep.
That's why we're not going to use that. Plus, there's a little something over there on the right hand side too. But it's going to look similar to this. Okay. So on the back side of this, there should be a $500 off coupon that these neighbors will be receiving, which is no joke. We're not padding the price up. GAF actually does the quote for the solar for us.
Yeah.
So, and the way they send it is the way we send it.
Right.
So we're not padding it up.
Yeah, we can't.
No. If anything, what we can do is we can knock off $500 discount towards your next solar install. So if you look at that picture, isn't that crazy on how much that looks like what we just did?
It looks exactly
I know.
like it.
It does, doesn't it? That's a great picture. Now that's a GAF picture. That's from GAF right there. obviously it's a GAF system, but that's a good picture there. Actually, Lauren found that picture.
Yeah.
And she said most of the pictures had palm trees and just exotic plants and stuff in the background. She said she chose that picture there because it actually had trees that were in our area to make it look more local.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's good thinking, Lauren.
Yeah, it was good thinking if she's watching out there. Yeah, so yeah, we did that, and then we recently did an Evolved Stone job.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we're also going to do what's called a drip campaign
Okay.
in that neighborhood as well with Evolved Stone. See if Vic can pull those pictures up of those. We're actually going to do handwritten letters as well. I didn't put them up there because most of it is just like a blank letter that doesn't have any handwriting in it.
Right.
yet.
Right.
But we're literally going to take the time and handwrite these neighbors of the people that we did the Evolved Stone on.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
man.
Evolved Stone actually helped us make this,
That's
along
nice.
with Lead Scout.
Look at all that Evolved Stone on there, though.
Yeah. Wait.
It's awesome.
Yeah. To those guys, big shout out to Evolved Stone,
Yeah.
who's helping us.
We got to get them back on here sometime.
We do.
Here. So,
For sure. Yeah, and I think Tom actually sold another job, so we're going to have another one coming up, which we should probably actually go on site on that one because we missed the first one. I don't know
Yeah.
what was going on, but we ended up missing that.
I forget what was going on, but there was some hectic stuff going on here. I know that. We've been fortunate.
Yes,
We've been so busy.
absolutely.
So busy lately.
Mhm.
Everyone's kind of been on autopilot here these last, I'd say, month and a half, something like that. But we're starting to steady out a little bit. I don't want to say we're slowing down,
No.
but I think what it actually is once you're going 100 miles an hour for so long, it doesn't really feel like you're going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
anymore.
probably.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
we have the right people in the right place too.
Right.
Think about it. I mean, Lauren's been here now a year and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, she's got her bearings about her now.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She knows her role. She's been trained well. She's doing a fantastic job. She was out on the job all day today, and just smashed it.
Her customer service skills are.
Yes, for sure. We got Kevin,
Outrageously
we got
good.
Tom. Denny's in a good position right now. We got Glenn in a great position. We got Howie in addition to the team. Speaking of which, do you want to do some shout outs for some anniversaries?
Oh yeah. So we got Tater Tot Tate. He's coming up on he's over a year now.
Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
on the 10th of June
Mm-hmm.
was his 1 year anniversary.
Yep.
Sam in the Office, June 29th was her 1 year. Jerry on July 6th was his 1 year. So there's three individuals that were hired right in the middle of the pandemic.
Yep.
Tate and Sammy in the office there was fresh after a lot of us, came back to work.
Mhm.
Because remember, there was a good 2-3 month period where there was a lot of people that were just working from home
Yeah.
remotely. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Not
Yes.
everyone was just reporting every morning to the
No.
office.
Yeah.
So those hires were done right in the
Right.
thick of that.
And same with Jerry.
Yeah,
if you think
same
about
with
it.
Jerry. He
Yeah.
came right when we started reporting back regularly. Jerry was hired.
Yeah.
And Brian Collins is at 2 years now.
Right.
So
Right.
I mean, there's 4 individuals right there.
And this makes me think of something that happened to us a couple weeks ago. We had posted, our video in a group, and I don't remember which group it was, but an individual must have watched. I think he said he watched about 3 seconds of it or something like that, and said, basically, I don't know why you posted this. I don't like this is irrelevant to any type of information for a homeowner to watch. Okay, so my first knee-jerk reaction about that was like, screw you, bud. Who are you?
Don't watch it.
Yeah, then don't watch it.
Right.
But then I thought, maybe you should have watched the entire thing to realize that, I feel like it is educational if you watch the whole entire thing, if you follow us. But really what it has done for us is that I think it has brought our group, our team, closer together, because if you figure out, if you look at the data here, okay, of who's sharing it, who's watching it, who's commenting on it, okay, so he must not know much about culture,
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because what it has done is not create the culture, but it has been one more feather in our hat to develop the culture, to keep it a close-knit family.
Right.
You know what I mean? Here's Derek watching. You know what I'm saying? There and David Katz, who's become a part of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's our friends, our family. Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Okay, who's become a client. Alan Tyson, Jana Kim, David Bruno, Diane Brooks.
Right.
You know what I mean? People who have become now partners
Right.
of ours, who have become friends of ours,
Yep.
who have become employees of ours.
Yeah.
How many people have we attracted? Okay, because it's transparency here. What you see is what you get.
Right. That's a big part of
We
it,
throw
Todd.
ourselves out here week after week after week after
Right.
week.
Right.
Okay. Vic wanted a part of that. Glenn wanted to be a part of that. And I'm sure if I sat here and thought about it long enough, we could think of at least 3 more people by watching our shows who would want to be a part of this. And I'm not trying to say that, we're a self-proclaimed social media influencer like some people might. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is and what this has done is it has drawn a group of people together. Okay? And they, like David Katz posts every Thursday afternoon an old video of ours and says, check it out, Behind the Tool Belt, 7 p.m. Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Okay?
She's been watching for over a year now.
Right. That's
So
what
his-
he's done.
yeah.
So,
And not
unfortunately
only-
for
not
that
only
gentleman
that-
who made that comment a few weeks ago, and I didn't take it to heart, and it wasn't like this pissing battle back and forth or anything like that. But it's like, take a minute and watch this. It's like, and if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah.
Think about this. I left here today for about 30 minutes. That was it.
Yeah.
It's going to be till 9:30 before we get home. It's hard work.
Yeah.
I've already got 10, 11, 12 hours under my belt before I even come in this room.
Right.
You know what I mean? To do this. So
Yeah.
for it to be irrelevant, okay, to us it's very relevant.
Yeah, and not only that, man, just to add to that, I feel like as in the industry that we're in, the part of the industry that we're in, exterior, home remodeling, roofing, siding, we're working on some of the bigger parts of the investment of your biggest investment.
Absolutely.
Okay? One of the reasons you hire somebody is because you trust them, you get to know them, you get 3 estimates, and hopefully you go with the person that you like.
Right.
You know what I mean? That you developed a relationship with.
Absolutely.
It's just something about this guy that I like.
Right.
You know what I mean? So part of us putting ourselves out there and doing these shows is so that if somebody just isn't sure, they got 3 contractors that are coming out to give them a quote. They have the ability to go onto these shows, watch what we talk about,
Yeah.
see how knowledgeable we are,
Yes.
hear how we treat our employees,
Yep.
how we treat each other, how
How they treat us.
experiences. Yes, you know what I mean? Like that matters.
Absolutely.
That
it does.
100% matters. So,
Absolutely.
so just because our show isn't fully 100% educational, we're going to talk every second on the ins and outs of roofing, how the system is installed,
Yes.
why we use this flashing, why, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Just because everything, we going off on our tangents and all that
Right.
kind of stuff.
Right.
That is, it's genuine and it's there to allow people, if they want to,
Yeah.
the ability to research us as human beings.
Or ask questions.
And as a business.
If when we run off
Yes,
on a tangent,
absolutely.
if you want to reel us back
yeah,
in.
if you want an education, bro, ask for it.
Yes.
We'll educate you all day.
Absolutely, and thank you, Dan. Thank you, and thank you, Derek, for saying that. You know what I mean? We are building
Yeah,
relationships.
and to be honest with you, to sum it up even more, we do this because we enjoy doing it.
right.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether or not we have 10 views at the end of this,
Yeah.
or 1,000 views at the end of this.
Right.
I don't care, and I'm still going to come back next week because
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it.
Absolutely.
I enjoy talking about this
Right.
stuff. I enjoy, like you said, all the things that it does for the guys,
Our
for the
community.
business, for our community.
Our
Yeah.
community
So,
here at TC Backer, and our community outside the walls of TC Backer. I
Yeah.
mean, our reach. Listen, I think next week we're gonna to go back to the reach that we have and why it would be relevant. And I don't know why I keep circling back to relevant, but we went out to Spring It's Retreat. We're getting ready to do a roof out there because they've watched our show.
Yeah.
They recommended us. They suggested we get used.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what this has done. I mean, it has. It has helped us feed our families and all of our coworkers' families. It has brought our coworkers and us closer together. I mean, Dan Barker, like, he couldn't have, I mean, we probably wouldn't have gotten as close to Dan Barker as we have if it wasn't for this show. David Katz, we wouldn't know who he is or his family. You know what I mean? And now we're sponsoring, you know, the motorcycle with Alan and Zach and Logan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Think of all the contacts that we.
Big shout out to Nicole.
Yes, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. Before I forget.
Very good, good point there.
Yes.
Think about what it's done for our exposure to the YBA.
Right.
To allow us to get leads for some of the stuff that we do in the community.
Yes.
You know,
to get the word out about a fundraiser we're doing.
Yeah, the stuff that we did for Wayne Scott, the turkey salute, like all these things to be able to make them as big as they are.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
To
Like
get the
all those things stemmed in some way or another from these shows. So
yes,
that's why they're not always educational every second.
Absolutely.
And why it's okay.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, I don't want to get bored doing this either.
No, man.
You know, and I don't want our viewers to get bored either. I want them to wonder what they're going to talk about tonight. Wonder what they're going to get into. And you know, I think we need to get to the point where we wanted to earlier. Like, you know, we need to start getting back out on job sites and doing things. And this summer, we've been so busy.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? That we haven't, you know, Lauren's on a great job that we should have went to tonight.
Yeah.
Because they're still there working. I doubt she's not even watching right now. Derek wants to know when the next fundraiser is.
Did you that thing with the Bears football team? Did that go through? Did that happen?
Yes.
That we can talk about it.
Yeah.
So you kind of sneakily under the scenes, behind the scenes. I don't think that a lot of people know this, but I'm going to give my man credit here.
Okay.
Second year in a row now. I'm sure everyone remembers last year. We sponsored the York Bears football team, bought them 50 new football helmets.
Yes.
Well, they ended up not being able to play the season because of COVID. So everything's just kind of sat.
Yep.
Well, they actually needed another 50 to make sure their full program.
Yes.
And Mr. Backer here donated enough money for the football team to get all their helmets. So the York Bears football team is now fully equipped with all their safety equipment that they need.
Yep.
Just in time for the season. The season is happening this year.
Yes, it is.
I'm
Thank
sure.
goodness.
I'm sure Wayne Scott. We can get him to throw a schedule out there and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, because he would like
catch
us to come to home games at least. I told him we would definitely be at home games. Yeah, I did kind of throw that under the radar.
Yeah, that one was kind of behind the scenes there a little bit.
Yeah, it was. Big shout out to Chris Markia to the T. He's actually hooking us up, not just with the helmets, but the decals on the helmets and all that good stuff. And they're really, really awesome looking.
Yeah.
Very, very good helmets that will protect the kids up to code. That's the one thing that I know Wayne needed to make sure that the kids were protected compared to the old equipment that they had. It just gave me goosebumps. You know, to be able to, and I'm super excited to be able to get out and watch these kids and know that we played a part in their capabilities of being able to play the game safe.
Yeah, let's talk about how important that is in today's world, man.
Right.
Get people out from behind screens. Not only just that, but I mean, you know, you're talking the youth age group from, you know, your 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds up till your, you know, mid-teens. That's when most kids start to veer off paths of destruction.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So football and sports and that kind of stuff is a big way to keep kids motivated, keep their direction straight.
Yeah, man.
You
Team.
know, yes, the team building exercises, the camaraderie that you get
Football
from team sports
doesn't get any better than football.
The only other place that you can get it is the military, probably.
Absolutely.
The brotherhood.
Yeah.
So it's super important. I'm very passionate about it. I know you're passionate about it. Wayne Scott, salute to you for everything that you do, man.
Yeah,
I know
for
he's
real.
super passionate about it. He donates a lot of his time, and rightfully so, is now the president of the York Bears. So,
Yeah, man.
you know, it's just, they're literally people that we want to be aligned with.
Absolutely, man.
For
Yeah,
sure.
man. Always trying to get back to the community. You know, freely giving away what was so freely given to him. You know, giving back to the community that's been good to him, and that's really one of many reasons why we do what we do, is because the community has been so good to us.
Yeah.
Has been a big supporter. I mean, just look at the comments, look at the people, and Derek, I love you too, man. Thank you. And thank you, David, and everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The partnerships, the relationships, the community. It takes an entire village. You
Yeah,
know, you
for
say
sure,
that
man.
all the time.
For sure.
You know, and with us, you know, being in a position that we've been in, you know, I know I have to give this thing away if I want to keep it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to keep it all to myself. I want to see everybody, you know, live a good, happy, healthy, you know, life and be able to take care of their families. And I'm kind of going back into our family here, our extended family here at TC Backer. And then however that we can have that ripple out into, you know, the community, you know, that's what I'm all about. My mom was a big, I'm trying to follow in her footsteps. She was so involved with the
Yeah.
community, so involved, to the day she passed. She was still in the Exchange Club. She was with the Red Hat ladies, the Scarlet ladies, which is these women's groups that go around and do a lot of things for charitable events. The Summer Jubilee. I mean, she did the Santa breakfasts. She was the neighborhood block watch mom or whatever. She had this thing in the window. If somebody was in danger, they were more welcome to be at her house. I mean, for as long as I could remember, she was involved in the DARE program. I don't know if you remember when DARE,
Yeah.
well, she helped start that over in Franklin County. Her and Sergeant Keller started the DARE program in elementary school. I remember he came in, my mom. I mean, she just was so, I mean, her entire life. And
Yeah.
I don't know why she did it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She never said, hey, you need to do this, or this is why I'm doing this. It's just what she did. And she didn't have the time to do it.
Right.
She owned a catering business, she owned a bar, she owned a restaurant.
Yeah.
She worked.
One thing that I learned in life, man, at this point in time in my life, you make time for things that you care about.
And she did.
You know what I mean?
Somehow
If
she
it
got
matters
it
to
done.
you, you make time for it.
Yeah, somehow she got it
You
done.
figure it out.
Yeah, man. So
So-
God bless my mom, God rest her soul, but that's why we're doing this today.
Yeah, man.
You know?
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, that's why we're doing this. So anyhow, did Tommy send us anything? No.
We don't have anything this week?
I know Tommy, and I keep probably about the second or third week in a row I said this, but Tommy wants to come back on the show, which by all means, hopefully that's relevant enough for some people to want to watch
Yeah.
with his good cause.
Right.
So, I mean, Tommy's coming with his good cause, with another great guy, great cause, into it, race car driver, race fan for as long as I can remember. And then, what else?
We gotta try to get Daniel Barker up in here too.
Yeah.
We gotta reach out
On
to
a
him.
personal level, Dan.
Yeah. We don't even have to talk any kind of business or anything.
Right.
But yeah, man, there's some good stuff coming up here. So I think we're actually past our hour right now.
Awesome. Good stuff.
So-
You want to go another hour? You guys want to tune in for a whole nother hour or what, man? We can keep rolling here. I think Vic's got a refrigerator full of Red Bull back there. I'm ready to go.
You know Vic's got that Red Bull on tap.
Yeah, he
Man.
does.
He's gonna figure out a way to get that stuff by the keg.
But koozies, compliment of Diane Brooks at All Things Business LLC.
Yeah,
Check
the
her
skinny
out.
koozies.
Yeah, good stuff. So, but no, great episode, great show. Tune in next week, 7 p.m. every Wednesday night behind the tool belt.
Yes.
I'm not 100% certain what we're going to talk about, but we got piles of content everywhere. So plan on us being here for another 82 episodes.
We'll figure it out. Man.
Yeah.
You know, we'll figure it out. I feel like we be getting ourselves involved in so many things so
Yeah.
frequently.
Yeah.
We'll never run out of stuff to talk
No
about.
way. No way. Jose. Who knows? We may start installing elevators. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll let you know. Hey, you want to raise?
Speaking of that, if anyone
You wanna
out
raise,
there,
eh?
if anyone out there is looking for a job,
Yes.
hit me up. You can reach me on Facebook. You can email me, Chris at 321gutterdone.com. Reach out to Ty, reach out to Vic, any of us. You can give me a call. My cell phone number is 717-825-4801. I would just love to have a conversation with you if you want to be a part of the family, be a part of the team. We're looking for all different kinds of positions. So inquire if you think that you may want to be a part of that.
Yeah, man, for real.
Everyone have a good rest of your week.
Yes.
And we will catch everyone for episode 83 next Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Yes, sir.